Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello, Canadian MJ friends. So I told you all to buy yesterday. Just kidding. I'll never tell you when to buy or sell. Definitely lucked out in terms of timing. And the Fed came out and said that they're not going to be raising rates as anticipated, which is bullish for the market. SPY bull showed up in a big way, up 2.3%, closing with full force, bull momentum everywhere into the end of the day. And I went on a shopping spree today. First, just on some signals first thing, and then of course once I got that news I did some more buying. So I'm holding 5 different positions at this point, swinging overnight: CGC, APHA, ACB, KSHB, ITHUF. Some of them are short-term flips where I will sell tomorrow morning. Some of them I'm going to be holding a little bit longer and using the daily uptrend to anticipate, or I should say to use as a stop level. But signal number 1 today, as soon as SPY broke 32.53, that was a bull signal I acted on. So I market bought first thing this morning because that gives us an hourly trend change. That's our higher low and then our bull break and the lack of resistance. Look at after 32.53. Why I entered confidently on the bull break this morning is because there is no resistance for multiple dollars after 32.53. So I made the market buy. I sold half of my position on the initial push up to remain protective in case we didn't see follow through. And then we saw follow through. So here I am holding my position at the end of the day. And my game plan shifted a little bit. I was not anticipating swinging all of these positions. But again, once that Fed news came out, I changed my game plan. So hourly higher low on CGC is 33.08. The farm bill is essentially done in terms of the reports we're getting. It's not official, but everybody is pretty much saying it's official at this point. So we're watching for that news to come out, keeping in mind that if that news doesn't come out officially tonight or tomorrow before the open, we might see some individual names that ran up in anticipation of that respond with a little bit of a pullback. So just keep that in mind. The bulls really want that news to come out. It is already being priced in to a certain degree. So here we close at the high of the day. 34.64, 34.85 are the next 2 levels. And 34.85 is the most important level for CGC because that's the level that's the lower high. And I want to be very clear. I was talking about bullish entries yesterday just as a gut feeling, followed through today, but we have to keep ourselves in check. The daily downtrends are still intact on these names, aside from Kron. The bulls haven't proven anything yet. Bulls are trading against the trend. We have to protect our positions. We have to have an established game plan on what's going to lead us to exit, what's our target profit, and if you're going for a weekly bounce, you're ideally getting yourself in a position where you can set a stop loss at break even, or a little bit better, ideally. But if we break 34.85 for CGC, that's a daily trend change. That gives us this higher low because 30.26 support held. That would be a higher low and then a bull break. And the next resistance levels we'd be looking up at would be in the 37 range, 37.12. There's a gap at 38.24. And then the weekly lower high is 46.74. So this is a sentiment shift in the market overall. And we're looking for this sentiment shift to come down to the MJ space as well. This might mark the start of this weekly bounce that we're looking for, and we definitely need more follow through on the daily time frames. Kron didn't do much today. I was not very interested in Kron because it was pretty range bound in this pattern still. Very beautiful equilibrium though. Low, high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high. New higher low has been set at 809. Key resistance test tomorrow, 904 and 908. Break those levels, bulls will want to see an increase in bull volume, and then 995 is the next level after that. It's the most bullish chart on the daily time frame out of the Canadian MJ sector because we have clear higher lows on the daily and a lot of support that other names don't have. So we don't even really need to change any kind of trend. We just need to break bullish and get follow through because, again, this weekly time frame has been bouncing for the last month at this point. Hourly higher low of 846 to keep the bulls in full control. That's a level to be watching, but it's all about resistance just above $9 tomorrow. APHA, daily time frame. So bull break, strong close at the high of the day. Anything under 1221 is just a lower high. So that means that APHA can go 8% tomorrow and still not break daily resistance. So again, we might set just a daily lower high and have to pull back and form a higher low above 1015. So just don't get too far ahead of ourselves and expect the moon here real quick. This might take a while to develop in terms of a trend change. My decision to enter APHA was due to 5-minute consolidation today. Again, we got the bull news in the market at noon, and I made another fortunate entry here on APHA because I entered seeing healthy hourly consolidation in this 5-minute pattern. I was looking for a 5-minute trend change to indicate that our hourly higher low had formed. Here's our hourly consolidation. And as soon as I saw this 5-minute higher low, so here's lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, this is when I bought in, anticipating that the bulls would change the 5-minute trend and try and see continuation on the hourly time frame. So in APHA, and I will probably look to trim positions in CGC and APHA and ACB tomorrow. I'm looking a little bit longer term in these other names, which we'll talk about when we get there. So hourly support on APHA to be watching is down at 1107 and 1108, then down to 1087. Resistance 1135. Then there's a lack of resistance, just hourly levels on this pullback, nothing very clear, but if we had to choose levels, 1140 and 1151 after it. ACB on the daily time frame, significant bull day, but anything under 846 is just a lower high, and that is still a significant percentage away. That's 8+% away from where we stand. Increased day, if we have a green day and increased bull volume tomorrow on these names, that would be very substantial for a shift in sentiment. So 846 resistance, weekly time frame did drop down to a lower low under 725, but trying to get the weekly bounce going with the long lower wick. And the news in the overall market is incentive for bears to cover. That's just the safe bet at this point. After how much pullback we've seen, especially in this sector, that's the kind of signal that says, all right, time to not get greedy, time to protect my positions and lock in profits. So we'll see if some short covering can add some follow through on this bounce. TLRY, lame duck today. And again, I'm not a trader at TLRY, and I don't think I'll ever be. Don't like the bid and ask spreads that are in between it, but we were red today, and it so very clearly stood out compared to everybody else. Extremely weak, and trying to figure out, what could be the reason, whether it's shares becoming free trading, which isn't really until January. I don't know. TLRY has been stumping us for months at this point. Ever since that giant run up, it's been stumping us. So it's still a daily higher low pattern. Anything above 99 keeps that higher low intact, but very notable that there was no sign of the bulls today in a very bullish market and sector day. And on the hourly, resistance is 111.65 and 112.46. So we'll need an hourly trend change to indicate the daily higher low has been established, but I have no interest in TLRY. KSHB, bull break. So one of the videos, I think the last video I did over the weekend, we talked about the inverse head and shoulders pattern and how clear this resistance was. And at that point, we were saying if we cannot break 558, look for a daily higher low to form and then a bull break to indicate the trend change on the daily in that pattern. And as soon as we double topped at that level 548, that becomes even more of a clear signal because it's all traders are going to be acting on that, both bulls and bears. We broke 548. We got huge follow through. Bulls got a little bit ahead of themselves. We bounced 20% in the last 2 days from the low to the high. And we're seeing healthy hourly consolidation. Support that must hold short term is 541. We're going to look for some bull move tomorrow and potentially a lower high. If we can't break 581, we'll look for a lower high and an equilibrium. I am in KSHB for the potential of uplisting. I do believe the KSHB is going to uplist. There's some rumors going around, and the company itself has stated that that's certainly on their agenda. And I will exit at this point at 493 if that level breaks, because it's a swing position and because it is more volatile and because it is a lot of space between that level and the support level right now. I am using a smaller position to limit my risk because these ranges are so large. If I were using the size of position that I trade CGC with on KSHB, that risk would be way too high. So it's thinly traded. I was just watching it trade today and even did a little market order to test the waters out. It can move fast when volume comes in. We did see some millions of dollars traded today, $4 million traded. But if we get an uplisting, that's going to be a big catalyst for some larger positions, perhaps institutions, to establish a position here as well. That's something I'm watching for. Weekly time frame equilibrium. We have the low, high, higher, low, and we are looking for a weekly lower high. And bulls are just hoping that that weekly lower high hasn't formed yet. They'd like to see that happen over $6. ITHUF. I made the entry here because of the weekly time frame, and it's an equilibrium here as well. We have the, this is what I'm watching. We have the low, the pullback, lower high. We're looking for a higher low compared to 413. Volume declining for the bears on the pullback. Looking for that entry. Need the daily trend change. I bought the gap down open today. Solid bull buying volume. This is an example where you look at the weekly time frame. We're going to see increased volume this week with 2 trading days left to go. And a newer trader might look at that and say, oh, that's increasing red volume. But you have to look at the details because the majority of the volume is for the bulls the last 2 days. So on the weekly time frame, it seems as a red bar of volume, but in reality, we're looking at about 3-to-1, 4-to-1 of bull volume to bear volume for this week. So it's another one that's in a downtrend, and I'm not going to lose sight of that and get overconfident because I am trading against the trend in all of these positions. Resistance is 486. Anything under that is a lower high. After 486, we're looking up at 491, 505 after that. But again, it's the longer term time frame, and knowing that the most likely scenario is a weekly higher low forming that had me make this entry, and I'm going to hold out with my stop under that low of 434. And the hourly chart's trying to form a higher low at the end of the day there, and we'll see if the hourly higher low forms, and we'll see if the bulls are able to see any continuation into tomorrow. So bottom line, bulls in control. We're looking for follow through tomorrow. Ideally, a little gap up open. If we don't get a gap up open, I'll be less, let's see, different scenarios. Gap up open, the more significant, the more likely I am to lock in some profit. If we don't gap up open, but break the high of today, first thing tomorrow, I might hold a little bit longer. That's a little bit more of a significant follow through bull move for me that could play out with some solid volume behind it. And other than that, I'm just going to respect my stop levels. Again, I am more likely to trim positions in the major Canadian MJ names sooner rather than later. I don't like having 5 positions. I like having one trade at a time that I am just fully focused on with all of my attention. As an active trader, that's just what I like to do. So this is a bit unusual for me. And again, I'm not all in. I bought a lot today. I bought a lot of different names, but I'm not all in because I'm against the trend. I would go all in often on the bull run when we had blue sky breakout, playing with the momentum and knowing there's no resistance nearby, but I'm not going to do that in this situation against the trend. So bottom line is just remember we're in daily downtrends and still have a long way to go before these names dig themselves out of that downtrend. And congrats to the bulls that did any buying today. So we'll see if the market can follow through with strength into tomorrow. We'll see if the farm bill comes out tonight and gets that follow through. And we still have some earnings to come out this week for the USMJ sector. So things perking up a little bit. We'll see if we get follow through. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Steep sheep peeping.